Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR Tourer. The particular car is registered LE16BDY and a mileage of just 25,411 miles. The reason for doing these videos is basically so that if anyone is online looking at our cars, they actually get to see the car they're looking at in operation. The reason we feel it's important is very simple. We just want to ensure that people don't have to suffer what we have done over the years, where you go and see a car which looks perfectly good in the photographs, only to get there and drive it and find out it's got a fundamental issue which you'd much rather known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. So coming to this particular car, been wonderfully looked after, as you'd expect. Engine starts instantly and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. The engines are brilliant diesel engines. They do what any good diesel should do, which is to give you amazing economy, and it's not always the case with cars where the economy comes kind of naturally to the car. Some you have to really nurse them to get the economy. These, if you just drive smoothly, normally, you can achieve wonderful economy figures. I've owned numerous Civic diesels using this engine. My shorter trips I tend to be around 60 to the gallon. My longer trips 70 and over, so it is achievable. Notwithstanding that, if the engine was economical but was loud, noisy, rough, gruff, then it would be a painful thing to sort of sit behind daily. But that's not the case. It's a wonderfully flexible unit, only noticeably a diesel in the lower gears, which you always get. But on a run, it's smooth and quiet, especially at sort of motorway speeds. But a lovely engine, cam chain driven. No cam belts to worry about on these cars, so no monster service looming on them either, which is a good thing. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox, which, as you'd expect given the miles, absolutely perfect. The clutch is smooth and positive in actuation, bike point exactly where it's meant to be, and the gearbox is just fantastic. Like most modern front wheel drive cars, the gear lever here is joined to the gearbox underneath by cables. Unfortunately, that means that some gearboxes can feel awful, can feel sort of light, devoid of feel, vague, all the things I hate in a gearbox. This feels like it goes straight to the gearbox underneath. It's so precise and mechanical in the way it feels. Honda put a huge amount of effort into making it feel like this, and have done a wonderful job with it. So super gearbox. Steering of the car, again, fantastic. It's so quick, it's flows, it's beautifully weighted, it's incredibly accurate and precise. It's a wonderful power steering system, one of the very best out there of this type. It tracks absolutely dead straight without any vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. But yeah, it's super power steering system. And it works brilliantly with the chassis, because the chassis is able to keep up with the steering, which isn't always the case. Again, some cars can be very quick on the steering but kind of slovenly in the body control, and that can lead to some interesting characteristics. The whole feel of this car is very dynamic. It loves direction changes. If you're an enthusiastic driver, you'll love the car because it absolutely flows through corners beautifully. But also gives you an incredibly comfortable and compliant ride. Helped, by the way, on these top of the range or higher range cars, you've got this little button down here so you can change your damper settings. I'm currently on normal. If I press that, I've gone into comfort, so it definitely feels softer. It's a setting, because I'm getting old and achy, that I particularly like on country roads. And then go to dynamic, which definitely firms things up. I find that a bit too firm for me, but actually works very well if you've got things weighted into the back of the car, because it's the rear suspension it's working on. And then back to normal again, but all working exactly as it should. What I'm looking for on these road tests, by the way, is any sort of chattering or knocking coming from under the suspension that shouldn't be there, and there's absolutely nothing at all. It's as tight as a drum, as again you'd clearly expect with the mileage the car's done. I'm going to give the brakes a bit of a shove in a second. I'm going to turn around now, because obviously we're going at a far slower speed than I'd like, given the fact that we're following this truck who's in no great hurry, which is not a bad thing in this world. Get up to speed and give the brakes a bit of a shove. And I mean, no, we know they're good. We've checked them all as part of the pre-delivery inspection of the vehicle. But just to actually show it, make sure no one's directly behind me, give them a good old shove, hard enough to get the hazard lights on, which they come on when you brake hard with these cars, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Really good aggressive bite on them without being overly so. No pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all, so all in fine order there. So coming inside the car, it's not been cleaned yet, and it literally hardly needs touching. It's in just beautiful condition in here, and a wonderful, wonderful interior. Brilliantly put together cars as well, by the way. No squeaks, no rattles. You know, it's in stark contrast to some of its premium competitors, apparently. Whoops, that stone. Sorry, massive stone flicked up by a bus. So coming back to the interior, yeah, beautifully made, but I just love this dash design, absolutely love it. You know, it is a Marmite interior. Some people love them, some people don't. Completely understand that. I just think it's fantastic. It works brilliantly, but it's actually quite interesting to sit behind. The most conventional part of this centre stack here, so you've got the big sat-nav all working exactly as it should with the camera, a dual zone climate control system offering you different temperatures side to side, blows out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. Switch gear quality is brilliant. It's just got this wonderful precision of actuation and sort of rubbery click feel to it. Every switch you press, heated seats working exactly as they should, and then this fantastic two-tier design in front. So all the information you look at, most commonly things like information up there, so if you change your fan speed or do your radio, you get the information down here but also up there, but much bigger, so you're not taking your eyes off the road. But the best part by far is having the speedo digitally displayed high up, which basically means as you're driving along you don't have to take eyes off the road at all, because you can see it at the corner of your eye, it's clear as day. So for safety it's fantastic, for looking after your license it's brilliant, and it's to Honda's eternal shame that they've taken that and put it down into the dash on the later generation, which I simply don't understand why they've done it, but that's just a personal thing. Then below that we've got this more conventional pod of 3 dials, the rev counter sat big in the middle, flanked by the temperature and fuel gauges. That's just the parking sensor picking up the hedge there, by the way. Steering wheel, perfect, thick rimmed, leather bound, feels absolutely as new to hold, just feels great in hand. I mean, the dash design, it's just so interesting, it really is. And as I said, it's not for everybody, you know, some people just don't get it. But it's not there, it's not style over substance, it's there to work, and it works brilliantly in day to day. And it also, in a slightly nerdy way, looks absolutely superb at night when it's all illuminated. It really is a wonderful thing to behold. As I said at the start of the video, the point, brief as it may well be, is just to show the car in operation, but as I said, feedback on any issues there might be. There's nothing at all, it drives absolutely as new. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.